In the lush expanse of the verdant wilds, two clans thrived amidst the towering trees and sprawling meadows. The Wolfen, a fierce wolf clan known for their loyalty and strength, and the Lygos, a cunning leopard clan renowned for their agility and stealth. For generations, these two clans coexisted, their territories bordering one another like two sides of a coin, each respecting the unspoken boundaries that separated them. However, with the passage of time, a bitter conflict began to brew, fueled by misunderstandings and the struggle for resources. The problem began when a severe drought struck the verdant wilds. The rivers that once flowed with life dwindled to mere trickles, and the prey that roamed the land grew scarce. The Wolfen, reliant on their hunting prowess, found themselves struggling to feed their young. Meanwhile, the Lygos, who preferred to stalk their prey with stealth, saw their hunting grounds encroached upon by the desperate wolves. Tensions escalated as both clans ventured deeper into one another's territories, leading to skirmishes that left both sides wounded and resentful. Amidst this turmoil, a young wolf named Kale emerged as a voice of reason. He was not the largest or the strongest of his kin, but he possessed a keen sense of empathy and a desire for peace. Kyle had grown up listening to the elders speak of the times when the clans would gather under the full moon to celebrate their shared heritage, a time when they would exchange stories and food, forging bonds that transcended their differences. As he watched his clanmates grow more aggressive, he felt a deep sorrow for what had been lost. Determined to find a solution, Kale sought out the leader of the Lygos, a wise and formidable leopard named Seraphine. The journey was perilous, filled with the remnants of conflict that lingered in the air like a thick fog. Kyle navigated through the shadows of the forest, his heart pounding with both fear and hope. He knew that approaching Seraphine would be a gamble. She was known for her fierce loyalty to her clan and her unwillingness to show weakness. Yet he also understood that if he did not act, the cycle of violence would only deepen. Upon reaching the Lygos territory, Kyle was met with suspicion. The leopards eyed him warily, their muscles tensed, ready to pounce at any sign of aggression. But Kyle, with his heart racing, stood tall and spoke with conviction, sharing his vision for peace. He recounted the stories of their ancestors, the joyful gatherings under the moonlight, and the importance of unity in the face of adversity. He proposed a meeting between the two clans, a chance to share their struggles and find common ground. Seraphine listened intently, her emerald eyes narrowing as she weighed his words. After a long silence, she agreed to the meeting, albeit reluctantly. She understood the desperation of her clan, but also recognized the possibility of a shared future. The tension was palpable as the two clans gathered at the edge of the great oak, a sacred tree that had witnessed the rise and fall of many generations. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the gathering, Kyle stood before both clans, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. He spoke of the drought, of the pain that had driven them to conflict, and of the strength they could find in collaboration. He proposed a shared hunt, where both clans would work together to find food and resources, pooling their strengths rather than allowing their differences to drive them apart. The initial response was one of skepticism. Clan leaders exchanged glances, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and anger. "Why should we trust them?" growled a wolf from the back. "They've taken our land and our prey." A leopard snarled in agreement, her tail flicking in agitation. But Kyle, undeterred, pressed on, reminding them of the suffering they had all endured. As the discussions continued, a shift began to take place. One by one, clan members began to share their own stories of loss and hardship, realizing that they were not so different after all. A young wolf spoke of her younger siblings, struggling to find food, while a leopard shared tales of her own family who had gone hungry for days. The raw honesty in their voices broke down the walls of animosity that had built up over time, revealing a shared vulnerability that resonated deeply. Finally, after hours of heated debate and emotional revelations, a consensus was reached. Both clans would embark on a joint hunt, and they would share the spoils equally. It was a bold step, one that required trust and cooperation, but it marked the beginning of a new chapter in their history. As the days turned into weeks, the clans worked together, learning from one another and discovering the strengths that each brought to the hunt. The Wolfen taught the Lygos how to track prey over long distances, while the Lygos showed the Wolfen the art of stealth, allowing them to approach their quarry without alarming it. They shared meals under the stars, laughter echoing through the night, and slowly but surely, the animosity that had once defined their relationship began to dissolve. However, the true test of their newfound alliance came when a rival clan, the Ferox, invaded their territories, seeking to take advantage of the chaos. The Wolfen and Lygos, now united, stood side by side, their hearts beating as one. Together, they fought valiantly, combining their strengths in a way that neither clan could have achieved alone. The battle was fierce, but their unity proved to be their greatest weapon. In the end, they emerged victorious, not only defending their home, but solidifying their bond in the process. As the dust settled, Kael and Seraphine stood atop a hill, overlooking their clans as they celebrated their victory. The air was filled with joy and relief, a stark contrast to the tension that had once permeated their lives. Kael turned to Seraphine, a smile breaking across his face. "We did it," he said, his voice filled with awe. "Together." Seraphine nodded, her expression softening. "You were right, Kael. We are stronger together. Perhaps this is the beginning of a new legacy." The clans continued to thrive, their alliance deepening with each passing season. They established traditions that honored their shared history, celebrating the unity that had emerged from the ashes of conflict. Under the light of the full moon, they would gather to share stories, not just of their struggles, but of their triumphs, weaving a tapestry of resilience and hope. Through their journey, Kael learned that the true strength of a clan lay not in its ability to dominate, but in its capacity for empathy and understanding. The conflict between the Wolfen and Lygos had transformed into a powerful narrative of unity, proving that even in the darkest of times, the light of cooperation and compassion could shine through, inspiring future generations to embrace their differences and forge a path toward a brighter future.